looking good into San Francisco. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Mimi. 6:56, and so much for flying the friendly skies. An American Airlines pilot who saluted Brazilian customs officials with the finger.
The middle
He's
finger.
being fined, yeah. $13,000 this cost him. Dale Hirsch held up his security number with just one finger, and it was the wrong finger. They took offense when they took his picture there in Sao Paulo. So Hirsch was immediately arrested for showing contempt. And some would say Brazil is the one showing contempt since it started requiring all Americans to be photoed in response to the U.S.'s new move to photo and fingerprint all foreign visitors.
No sense of humor.
Basically, the fight has just gone down the tube.
I wonder what he did when they tried to fingerprint him. All right, 6:57 is the time. Coming up in the next hour of the KRON 4 Morning News, a close call for firefighters battling both flames and these super freezing temperatures in New England. We'll tell you about this rooftop rescue.
This weekend on Backroads. Saturday, find out what it took for this East Bay town to restore one of nature's hidden treasures. Plus, why this hangout is frequented by Bay Area sports stars. Sunday, it's an island getaway. Discover California's own piece of Hawaii. See where you can find world-famous kayaking and snorkeling. And tee off at a course where Tiger got his start. Make this paradise vacation getaway of your own. Bay Area Backroads, this weekend at 5:30 on KRON 4, the Bay Area's news station.
There are friends we will always remember.
You've got everything you've ever dreamed of.
You will too.
And people we can never forget.
You're the one who said I could do anything I wanted.
Julia Roberts, Mona Lisa's Smile, rated PG-13, now playing.
It's the largest RV show on the West Coast. The 16th Annual Manufacturers RV Show and Sale. 22 dealers, over 85 RV manufacturers. Indoors at the spacious Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton, January 9th through the 19th.
Rock! Yeah, we're gonna take the rock! Right, the rock.
Whew. The rock.
Yeah, the rock.
What do you say we go warm up on that rock over there?
Yeah, the rock.
It'll get you there. The rest is up to you. The largest, most powerful forerunner yet.
I don't have a health plan at work.
But I still need health care I can afford.
For myself. For my family.
Pacificare believes caring is good. Doing something is better.
From now on, it's gonna be a better way. A brand new day.
That's why we offer affordable PPO health plans for individuals and families starting as low as $49 a month. Call Pacificare now for this free information guide. You'll get a choice of PPO plans with competitive rates and the coverage you need, including prescription drug coverage, a large network of hospitals and doctors, and programs to help you save money on healthcare products and services.
I'm a unique individual. I need an individual health plan.
Talk to your broker or call Pacificare for your free information guide.
Safe sex in your garden, Saturday at 10 on Henry's Garden. Live from the Bay Area's news station, this is the KRON 4 Morning News.
And good morning. It is 7 o'clock on a busy Thursday morning. Looking live at SFO there this morning. Sunrise is not up. We've got some pretty mild temperatures. Not the same thing back east. We'll be checking on that momentarily. Coming up this morning, NASA's rover begins to explore Mars. It is on the move this morning. We're going to update its historic journey as we go through our morning here. Also, graphic video here of the danger that firefighters face each day. A rescue in Connecticut was caught on tape. We're going to tell you what happened coming up in about 10 minutes.
In entertainment news, explosive allegations about who beat up Halle Berry when she was dating them. You're not going to believe this one comes right out of the blue. That story's coming up at 7:40.
As Susan mentioned, the Northeast is in a deep freeze. It's the worst cold spell in decades. Mark Dannon's been keeping an eye on that for us, and this is, serious stuff.
Yeah, wind chill very dangerous. A frostbite, a definite possibility in the Northeast. It was 0 the last hour in Boston, and snow falling in New York in 9 degrees. For us, relatively tame. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s right now. Dense fog this morning, but it will clear out this afternoon with partly cloudy skies and highs in the upper 50s. I'll check your full forecast, including the weekend, in just a few minutes. Guys.
All right, thanks, Mark. Our top story right now, though, NASA engineers in Pasadena popped the champagne earlier this morning after Spirit cleared its biggest hurdle in its mission to Mars. The rover moved off of the lander overnight, and this black and white picture the rover sent back confirming that it is on the move. KRON 4's Teo Torres live at NASA Ames in Mountain View this morning, where there are a lot of excited folks there. Hi, Teo.
Oh, good morning, Susan. It's good news for NASA. Great news for Mars exploration, as you said, the Mars rover has finally left its lander. It happened at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, crews at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory cheered as the rover finally made contact with Martian soil. The Spirit touched down 2 weeks ago, but was unable to roll off due to a still inflated airbag. Soon, the rover will roll 10 feet and set there, giving the unit time to get its bearings to conduct tests on soil and rocks. Now, eventually, the rover will travel 825 feet to an impact crater, all the while gathering geological evidence that the red planet was once wetter and perhaps even harbored life.
2 weeks ago tomorrow, I sat in the same place talking to you all about things like EDL communication and whether we would hear from the rover in 24 hours and all those kinds of things. And now we've got 6 wheels on the dirt. It really doesn't get any better than this, but it will. It will. It has taken an immense effort by an immense number of people to get us to where we are today.
So far, the rover has taken nearly 4,000 pictures with its 9 cameras. Now that the rover is off and rolling, so to speak, the mission should last about 3 months. Reporting live at NASA Ames, Teo Torres, KRON 4 News.
All right, Teo, thanks so much. Also, coming up in a couple of moments, a NASA scientist is going to join Chris right here in the studio to give us a first-hand perspective of what it is like to be part of this mission to Mars.
Well, you hear a lot about cell phones causing accidents, but in this case, the cell phone was a savior. A Bay Area man was able to call 911 on his cell after his car fell 300 feet down an embankment in the Oakland Hills. It happened last night, and there it is. The car smashed up the SUV. The back of it was crushed. Amazingly, the driver's area was okay. It took crews 2 hours to pull the guy up the hillside, and he apparently suffered only minor injuries. Also around the Bay today, San Ramon police are telling people to keep a close eye on their cars. Thieves are targeting the area, stealing on average of 1 car per day. And it's not just cars on the street. Thieves have actually broken into locked garages to swipe cars. Police are stepping up their patrols.
City officials in Martinez want state lawmakers to strengthen Megan's Law, which lets communities know when a sexual offender may be relocated to their neighborhood. The Martinez City Council voted unanimously last night to insert a provision in the law that requires a 15-day advance notice if a predator is set to move into a certain community. Currently, neighborhoods receive no advance notice.
All right, we're going to check on weather and traffic this morning. We'll begin with Mark Dannon. Good morning to you once again.
Good morning. The fog out there this morning, but sunrise coming our way at 7:24. And once that happens, we'll see things lighten up a little bit and that fog clearing out. You can see the low cloud deck here from our Transamerica cam. Temperatures right now around the Bay Area range from 41 and chilly 41 in Antioch, 47 in Daly City, and 48 degrees right now in Cupertino. A dense fog advisory is posted for the Carquinez Strait and the Delta. San Francisco neighborhood weather right now 51 degrees, climbing to 58 later this afternoon with partly cloudy skies. On the satellite view, pretty quiet for us right now. You can pick out the fog and the low clouds indicated by the dark gray. Light gray shadings on satellite or white shadings indicate the higher clouds, and that's the next storm system back off towards the west. It'll take a few days to get here, and I think it's going to be another weak one, just like the last storm system we saw. Notice the storm track here. Instead of these storms making a beeline towards the Bay Area, we're seeing that storm track shift a lot farther to the north. So we're just getting the tail ends of these systems as they come on towards the region. So some nice weather today and pretty quiet. In fact, the fog around this morning, you'll see it here on our TrueView Skycast. As we move on through the morning hours, look by 11, 12 o'clock, that fog starts to dissipate. Lots of sunshine this afternoon should make for a pretty nice day and pretty quiet weather in toward this evening as well. Neighborhood weather this afternoon, 57 for the high in San Rafael with afternoon sunshine, 58 in San Francisco and San Leandro, 56 in Fairfield, Hayward at 57 this afternoon, 59 in San Jose, 58 Palo Alto and Pacifica, 59 in Redwood City. Your 7-day forecast, just some morning fog the next few mornings, lots of afternoon sunshine for some pleasant days coming our way. And we saw that next storm system on the satellite, slight chance of a shower on Saturday. A few showers Sunday into Martin Luther King Day on Monday, but otherwise no real storms, no real large storms come in our area for the next 7 days. So that's good news in the forecast. Hopefully some good news with your morning commute with Mimi.
Well, actually, Mike, you got to prepare yourself for the snow grade. I hate to say it. It's getting busy down that way. Here we are, 680 between Stone Valley and Crow Canyon. And this is not bad, actually. You can see the sensors reading green, which means things moving along. Once you hit Vargas, though, the top of the snow grade, an accident blocking lanes, and it is slow for you past 84, so plan on lots of extra time in that area this morning. Westbound 580, a new accident at the truck scales in Livermore, and that's going to be slow for you from the Altamont into the Livermore Valley. Now let's head to a map. Still have that accident causing problems in San Jose, northbound 101, just before Tully. It's kind of near the Capitol Expressway, and it looks like they've got it clear, but the damage done, it is slow from Tully to Story. And now let's take a live look out there in San Jose. See how we're doing past the Guadalupe Parkway. Here you can see it. This is certainly north of the accident, but it is slow for you past the Guadalupe Parkway, although it's moving. So that's some good news. 280 not bad down there right now. And over at the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza, which we should have a live shot of. There it is, and it's just past the 880 overcrossing, so that is building as well. Of course, those metering lights are on, and lots of extra time getting into San Francisco this morning. Susan?
Thanks, Mimi. San Francisco 49ers quarterback Jeff Garcia is practicing damage control after San Jose State Police arrested him yesterday morning for driving under the influence. Now, he spoke out after his release from jail yesterday.
First of all, I regret that I'm standing here in front of you in this type of situation. This matter will be taken very seriously. It's not something that will be taken lightly at all. And it's something that I hope that I can put behind me very quickly.
49ers management has not commented yet on what disciplinary measures might be taken. Garcia is scheduled to be back in court on March 1st.
Time now is 7:08. California's budget woes are now putting pressure on college freshmen. It seems the UC system will have to turn thousands of potential students away this coming fall. KRON 4's Julie Luck is live in Berkeley to explain. Hi, Julie.
Good morning, Daria. It doesn't matter if you have straight A's or a high SAT score. UC schools like Berkeley are cutting back enrollment by 10%, but there is a positive side to this. They can still be admitted to the UC of their choice as long as they first attend community college. Now, this is the result of Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger's proposed budget. He wants to cut freshman enrollment funding by 10% to help cope with the state budget crisis. The UC system planned to enroll 37,000 new freshmen this fall, but under the governor's plan, 8,200 freshmen who would normally have been admitted will get rejection letters. Instead, they'll be offered 2 years education at a state community college for free. Those students then are guaranteed admission to a UC when they are juniors. One Cal student I spoke with this morning says this sounds unfair.
I was told you have to go to community college first, but I mean, it's got to be done because California's a mess. So
why would you be upset?
Because I would want to come to the school of my choice rather than being told you have to go to community college. Like, you know, you work hard, you want to go to school, you want to go right away.
Even though the state's 2004-2005 budget won't be finalized until summer, the UC system is working under a tight deadline because they have to send out acceptance or rejection letters this March. Now, Governor Schwarzenegger's budget will leave the UC system with $530 million less than just 3 years ago. Reporting live at UC Berkeley, Julie Luck, KRON 4 News.
Julie, thank you. 7:10 is your time. It was a close call for a firefighter in Connecticut. Several of them, in fact. The smoky house fire in New Haven quickly got out of control. Take a look. Flames poured out of this home. Firefighters had to jump out of windows to save themselves. Others found their way through the smoke out a back door. Thick smoke, as you can see. But then this firefighter, well, one of them was trapped upstairs. His fellow fireman broke a window and pulled him out to safety. And it was just reminded, these guys all around the country put themselves in harm's way to save our homes and our lives, and our hats are off to them. My goodness.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Stunned over that, but when we come back, we'll regroup. What is it like to plan a trip to Mars? We're going to talk live to one of the women who helped make the rover mission a reality. That's coming up next.
Hey, Johnny, good morning to you. I'm Liam Makelum, live in the Plush Room in San Francisco. A right royal musical treat. We have this man, Mr. Sting, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. And right here in the 7 o'clock hour, we have Miss Paula West.
I
stick, a stone. It's the end of the road. It's the rest of a stump. It's a little alone. It's a sliver of glass. It is life. It's the sun. It is night. It is death. It's a trap. It's a gun. Your granny.
On the next episode of the Dr. Phil Family.
When we got married, my dad said, I cannot believe that you married a janitor.
Discover the past you've never heard about until now.
I asked her to marry me, and we eloped.
I thought I could just shape Marty right up into the person I want him to be. What was I thinking?
The next Dr. Phil Family.
I dated somebody in high school. If I had stayed with him.
Dr. Phil, tonight at 8, followed by KRON 4 News at 9.
The Jewelry Exchange is a direct diamond importer. The Jewelry Exchange manufactures their jewelry direct. 3-stone earrings and pendants are $99. 1-carat 3-stone rings are $4.99. Buy factory direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange in Burlingame.
Discover why America's fallen in love with Calendar Girls. It's hilarious, heartwarming, 2 thumbs up, one of the best films of the year, and winner of a Golden Globe nomination for Helen Mirren.
We're going to need bigger buns.
Calendar Girls, rated PG-13, now playing.
I've tried air fresheners, but I wanted a way to actually remove tough odors from my home, even those caused by bacteria. Lysol, listen.
Nutra Air Air Treatment from the makers of Lysol is a scientific breakthrough that works by attacking tough odor molecules, removing odors from the air. Nutra Air quickly gets rid of strong diaper odors and even removes pet smells.
It neutralizes tough odors from odor-causing bacteria, leaving the air smelling clean. And because it's from Lysol, I trust it to work. Thanks for listening, Lysol.
There's a state where there's fun around every corner, where all cars are turbocharged, and there's a direct link between the right foot and a smile. Maybe that's why people who test drive a Saab usually buy one. This is the state of independence. Welcome.
During the Saab Sign and Drive event, get a Saab 9.3 linear sport sedan with 0 due at lease inception.
Closed captioning is brought to you through a generous grant from Sleep Train Mattress Centers. Your ticket to a better night's sleep.
America is proud of our space program. The risk takers and visionaries of this agency have expanded human knowledge, have revolutionized our understanding of the universe, and produced technological advances that have benefited all of humanity.
With that, President Bush announced a plan to send astronauts back to the moon and eventually on a trip to Mars and perhaps beyond. President Bush is granting NASA an extra $1 billion in federal funding over the next 5 years. Now, the timing couldn't be better for NASA. It's a day of joy for NASA. The rover Spirit is moving on the Martian surface. The success on Mars caps years and years of hard and often frustrating work. Mars mission scientist Natalie Cabral now joins us with more. Congratulations to you this morning.
Thank you.
You work out of Mountain View at NASA Ames, and you're also with SETI. Explain to me what SETI is quickly.
SETI Institute is the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, but I am the part of SETI, which is the Center for Life in the Universe.
Now, the accent is French, but you're very much a proud American today.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about this, what we're going to gain by having Spirit out there on the surface now.
Well, now Spirit is free to be rolling at the surface of Gusev and go to some rocks and soil and get us more knowledge about the history of Mars.
Like any geologist, the first thing you do is you just pick up rocks and you look at them. Is that what we're going to do mechanically now on Mars?
It's exactly true, but what we do usually in the field is that the first thing you're doing, you're standing somewhere and you're looking around. Where I am, you know, and it's exactly what Spirit did for the past week. She was taking pictures and she was sending us this picture, so now we have a better idea of our environment. Next stop is the first soil in front of the rover and the next rock.
Pictures now, correct me if I'm wrong, there are 9 cameras on Spirit and they're taking thousands of pictures. I think the latest count is more than 4,000 pictures so far.
Correct.
What are you seeing in these pictures?
We're seeing a world that has a wonderful history. We're trying to understand what's the place of water in this history. And we're seeing rocks and we're seeing soil, but the first thing we saw that really touched us was those hills. And this is definitely a landscape we can relate to as human beings.
The hills, yeah. Spirit's also looking up, though, too, right?
It's looking up, it's looking at the atmosphere, and there will be soon a wonderful observation. We have Mars Express coming right on top of us, and we'll be looking up, and Mars Express will be looking down at us.
Nellie, you mentioned that there is water on Mars, traces or markings that there was water at least. We have dry lake beds we've heard of. We've always heard on Earth, where there's water, there's life. Of course, this is what you hope to learn ultimately, right?
Yeah, Mars is a planet that is very similar to Earth by many respects, and very different too. And it is enough similar that if there was enough water on Mars in the past, we hope that the conditions were, suitable for life to appear.
I know you're not a politician, you're a scientist, but I have to throw this at you. President Bush, in an election year, is proposing once again to send a manned craft to Mars. His father, the first President Bush, of course, had the same plan, but it was scrapped when the price tag was nearing an estimated $1 trillion. Now, I can't imagine it would be any cheaper to send a mission to Mars, and John Glenn has said the same thing. This is going to top $1 trillion to send someone there. It's prohibitive. With all of the, homelessness, the deficit, ballooning and everything else, would you be happy to see the U.S. spend $1 trillion on that project, or do you think money could be better spent elsewhere, as Howard Dean has been very critical?
It's an interesting question. I think it depends on price you're putting on knowledge. In my mind, there is no price to be put on knowledge, because when you are learning, you are making life of people a lot better. And I think that those two things are two different questions, all right? But exploration is what we are born for, and it is really interesting that, a few centuries ago, people trusted exploration to send the first American here, the people who became American. So that those people are still willing to explore is very good news to me.
And very good news that I'm sure has been keeping you up all week, right? Excitement.
Yeah, Spirit had a better deal than anybody in the science team. She's sleeping 15 hours a day, and this is not going to happen for us in the next year or so.
Natalie Cabral, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for coming up from on the peninsula. Let's go back now to Daria.
Yes, thank you, Chris. 718, continuing the news now. Democratic presidential candidate Howard Dean is about to get the support of one of his rivals. Carol Moseley Braun is expected to bow out of the race for the 2004 Democratic nomination today and to endorse Dean. Moseley Braun was the only woman in the race and one of 2 African Americans. She and Dean are expected to announce their decision this afternoon in Iowa.
For your health this morning, a blunt warning that obesity is strongly linked to cancer. The American Cancer Society says as many as 1/3 of cancer cases are caused by too much weight, too little exercise. In its annual report, the society predicts more than 500,000 Americans will die from cancer this year. Researchers say communities have to get involved and make social policies to encourage weight loss. Obesity also contributes to diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease. Moderate drinking of red wine is associated with reducing the risk of heart disease. But if you don't drink wine, you may be able to soon indulge in its health benefits by popping a pill. Researchers in Italy creating a pill that contains many of the same ingredients as wine minus the alcohol. Both wine and the wine pill also have antioxidants that may cut the risk of cancer.
720. 720 is the time right now. Don't go outside without your mittens and your scarf and your face mask. That's what moms in the Northeast are telling their kids. The chilling details coming up.
You want to lose weight now, but you don't want to cut out carbs like fruit and pasta, and you don't want to wait for results, but you do want a plan you can stick to. What do you want? Weight Watchers' new Fast Track Kit. You get a complete meal planner and exercise DVD designed to jumpstart your weight loss in just 2 weeks. It's free when you join. Get yourself headed on the right track. But hurry, offer ends January 31st. Join now while registration's free. Call 1-800-651-6000 today.
Not all cars have what it takes to be an American icon. It takes performance with race car styling and a 260 horsepower V8. It takes value with 0% financing for 60 months or $3,000 cash back. It takes heritage, 40 years of ruling the road. That's the difference between the original pony car and the rest of the herd. Drive a Mustang today with 0% financing for 60 months or $3,000 cash back. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again at your local Ford store.
Strangers in the night, exchanging glances.
No 2 people are the same, which becomes obvious as soon as they share a bed.
What were the chances?
That's why we created the Sleep Number bed. It allows each person to set their side of the bed to their sleep number, which is their level of ideal firmness. A sleep number is the key to a perfect night's sleep. The Sleep Number bed by Select Comfort. Call 1-800-SLEEP-NUMBER.
Ready for a baby, but need expert help? Pacific Fertility Center leads the way in reproductive excellence. Call to attend a free seminar, 888-834-3095, or go to infertilitydoctor.com.
Walt Disney Pictures presents, exclusively in IMAX theaters, a visual masterpiece. The Young Black Stallion is spectacular, filled with moments of sheer magic. The Young Black Stallion, rated G. Now playing. For tickets, call 1-888-DISNEY-6.
The snow is snowing, the wind.
Barry Manilow may say love can keep you warm, but I don't think they believe him in the Northeast. Here's some video from up towards Portland, Maine, where wind chills are 25 below or more. Wind chills like that will make your skin freeze and get frostbite within 15 minutes. And the cold air continues in the Northeast. It's the coldest weather in almost 2 decades, and more cold air to come for them. So what we have around here, just some temperatures in the 40s and 50s today. Not too bad. Let's look at the numbers in the Northeast from this morning. With that cold air in place, many records set across New England, and that cold air has more cold to come over the next few days. Snow right now in New York City, 8 degrees this morning, 0 the air temperature in Boston, wind chills 15 to 20 below, 13 below 0 in Bangor, Maine, 7 below 0 in Albany. National forecast shows a high of 6 today in Boston later this afternoon after the morning snow, 13 in New York City and 29 in Washington, D.C., so pretty benign here in the west. 51 degrees right now in San Francisco, 49 in Oakland. Fog really the only problem to deal with some misty drizzle around as well. Fog will be around for the morning hours before some breaks come this afternoon. Next storm on the horizon back to the west, but it's got to get across that high pressure first, the Big Blue H. So the high will beat down over the next few days, and it looks like maybe a sprinkle Saturday, and then just a few showers on Sunday and a Martin Luther King Day on Monday. So forecast for this morning, areas of fog and some misty drizzle will be dense in some locations, so watch out in the roadway. Sunrise was at 7:24, just a minute away. As we move on through this afternoon, partly cloudy skies. Should be a pretty nice afternoon once that fog lifts, highs climbing to the upper 50s later today. Your 7-day forecast, dense fog around the next few mornings, but pretty nice afternoons through Saturday. Just a few showers in the forecast Sunday into Monday with no real large storms on the horizon. Let's check your morning commute now with Mimi.
Thanks much, Mark. Yeah, gosh, a little fog doesn't sound that bad when you hear about 20-degree below temperatures. And here's what we got on the East Shore Freeway. Looks pretty good right now through San Pablo and Richmond in both directions of 80. It does get a bit slow in the eastbound direction once you head up towards Highway 4 and the Carquinez Bridge, however. No accidents there, just lots of heavy traffic. And elsewhere, let's check out 880 in Hayward, which has been pretty tame this morning as well. Just some minor slowing where you see the yellow cars in the northbound direction near A Street, and then a little bit more as you make your way towards the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza through the MacArthur Maze area. In fact, the backup there now approaching the maze, so extra time obviously getting into the city. A live camera in 680 for you. Looks heavy past 24, but not bad at all compared to what it could be. Over at the Sonoma Grade, it's, pretty heavy down there because we had an earlier accident at Vargas. Otherwise, over to 101 in San Jose, that's where it is heavy, and it starts at about the Capitol Expressway, where an earlier overturned accident is now clear, but plan on some slow stuff up to Story, and then again, McKee to Trimble. Chris, Susan, and Dario, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Mimi.
Hey, Liam Makeman, we understand, is in a very musical mood this morning, and we also understand that, Liam, you're conducting some sort of a sting operation?
Sting operation, indeed. You've heard of Mr. Gordon Matthew Sumner. I'm not a fan at all. I mean, the guy's all right, but you know, a true fan would have memorabilia, would have signed pictures and books and records, so not really a big Sting fan at all. Sting will be with us in the second hour this morning. How exciting is that? Even more exciting, live right here this morning. Paula West, she's our own girl. She's a Bay Area girl, San Francisco girl. Good morning, darling.
Hey, how are you?
Thanks for coming back and being with us.
Thank you.
And you've brought your band, your trio, your posse of musical peeps.
Yeah.
And you're going to give us a little burst of something, yeah?
Yes, yeah. Ragtime Cowboy Joe, a little cowboy music.
Lots from Paula. Give us a little burst. What's the song called?
Ragtime Cowboy Joe.
All right, love. Little burst from Paula. I'll get out of the way. Take it.
He always sings Ragged music to the cattle as he swings back and forward on a saddle on a horse that is syncopated, gated, and there's such a funny meter to the roar of his repeater. How they run when they hear that fellow's gun, because the western folks all know he's a highfalutin, scootin', shootin' son of a gun from Arizona.
That's fun. That kind of perks things up this morning.
I love it.
We'll be checking back with Liam and Paula and Sting.
Yeah,
All
these
right.
stocks sting.
Did you know I'm your #1 stalker? Okay, 7:26 is the time right now. Your electric bill is going up, you may have noticed. So why are bosses at bankrupt PG&E getting bonuses? We're going to ask Assemblyman Mark Leno that next.
Also, it's an uphill battle for rescuers after a car crash in the East Bay.
Let's take a look at your drive times for the 80 corridor. Coming from Vallejo to from 780 in Vallejo down to 4th Street in San Francisco, it's 48 minutes. From McDonald Avenue in Richmond to Powell Street in Emeryville, 10 minutes. University to Berkeley is 22 minutes, and 4th Street to Powell is 9 minutes.
Next Inside Edition, inside the major prepping for the Michael Jackson arraignments. See how they're getting set for a Jackson invasion. Watch the next Inside Edition.
Tonight at 7, followed by Entertainment Tonight and Dr. Phil on KRON 4.
Jennifer Aniston's feud. She hasn't spoken to her mother in years. Now she's telling why.
Are you surprised at yourself that you can't let it go?
Then Michael Jackson with his young accuser and Debbie Rowe next ET.
Tonight at 7:30 on KRON 4.
It's the largest RV show on the West Coast, the 16th annual Manufacturers RV Show and Sale. 22 dealers, over 85 RV manufacturers, all at the spacious Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton, January 9th through the 19th. You'll see a huge selection of motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, van conversions, and cab-over campers. It's the 16th annual Manufacturers RV Show and Sale, January 9th through the 19th, indoors at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton.
Flat. Sometimes small businesses hate the word flat, as in sales are flat. Other times they love it, as in one flat rate for all your calls, and savings that are flat out shocking. Introducing SBC Unlimited Long Distance for Business. Unlimited nationwide long distance for a flat $20. Seeing small business differently. SBC.
Headlines this morning, NASA.
We've got some mic problems, Darius, so we'll pick it up here for you for just a couple minutes while we get that worked out. NASA this morning also celebrating a milestone in its mission to Mars. Now let's take a look at the black and white photo that Mission Control in Pasadena brought out, of course, to cheers from NASA engineers because it confirms that Spirit moved off its landing pad. Now, this was considered one of the most difficult parts of the mission, so they're very happy. A cell phone helped rescuers reach a man whose car tumbled hundreds of feet down an embankment in the Oakland Hills late last night. Look at that. The back of the man's SUV was crushed, but amazingly, the driver area was not smashed up in the car. It took crews about 2 hours to pull the driver up the hillside after he called them from his cell phone, and he apparently suffered only minor injuries. Also this morning, the UC system may have to turn away about 8,200 freshmen this fall. The Governor Schwarzenegger's budget calls for a 10% reduction in funding for enrollment. Now, if that passes, the university plans to offer students free tuition to their local community colleges until slots are opening up on a UC campus.
Also in the East Bay, a city there is fighting for better notification when sexual predators are set to be released. Last night, the Martinez City Council voted unanimously to strengthen a state law that requires alerts if a predator moves into local neighborhoods. KRON 4's Jesse Gary has more.
He has been chemically castrated and completed the state's release program. Yet ex-con and one-time sexual predator Carrie Verse still doesn't have a place to live. And if the Martinez City Council has its way, moving day will come with a 15-day advance notice.
To give at least the communities a voice in the process that they don't have now.
For the past 2 months, City Police Chief Dave Kataya and company have been crafting potential changes to Megan's Law.
We are not even allowed to get an address where one of these folks may be placed.
Currently, communities receive no advance notification a sexual predator is finished serving their sentence. Additionally, the presiding judge isn't required to consider recommendations from local law enforcement. The Martinez resolution mandates a magistrate consider views from local police, as well as give 15 days advance notice of a release.
They'll be amending Megan's Law in several different ways this spring, hopefully, through Assemblymember Parra, and we're trying to get into that packet of legislation.
I think it's an excellent idea, especially when we've seen in other communities examples of where registered sex offenders were released into that community and people didn't know.
Carrie Verse has a string of sexual assaults stretching back to age 17. He is currently at Atascadero State Hospital on the Central Coast. But the chief says Verse's safety and the public's well-being prompts this action.
I just don't feel there's enough notice or enough information that's given to law enforcement in this situation.
This is just a city resolution, and it has to pass first before it can have any impact on the state legislature. At Martinez City Hall, I'm Jesse Gary, KRON 4 News.
All right, so, we were talking about UC fees. Well, everybody seems to be getting into the budget battle to weigh in with their own plans. Now, State Assemblyman Mark Leno from San Francisco is taking up no less than 3 different controversial topics. He wants San Franciscans to be able to vote on whether they should be allowed to close their budget problems with a vehicle tax of their own. He's proposing that gay marriage should be allowed in California, and he's going after big companies like PG&E who pay out huge bonuses to executives while they're in bankruptcy. We say good morning to Assemblyman Leno this morning, live from Sacramento.
Good morning,
hey,
Susan.
You know what? We've been debating amongst ourselves which is the most controversial of these topics. So I'm just going to start off with the vehicle tax. You want to put something on next November's ballot so San Franciscans can vote on whether they want higher vehicle fees.
Actually, I would argue with you, Susan. I think that's probably the least controversial of them.
That's what I thought.
And it's also, I think, probably, well, I think they're all very sensible, but we have now probably about a $100 million chronic hole in San Francisco's budget annually because Governor Schwarzenegger, on his first day in office, rescinded what was the restoration of a vehicle license fee that was in place from 1948 to 1998 for 50 years, and few people know this. All of us paid 2% of the purchase price of our automobile, and all of that money, about $130 million over time annually to San Francisco, went to pay for fire protection, police protection, to keep our parks clean, our libraries open, our streets swept. But without that money, we're going to have serious cutbacks in our budget. So I'm just thinking, why don't we have an intelligent conversation, let voters know that they paid this fee, they got these services. You take away the fee, guess what, folks? The services go away. Let's have an honest conversation. Let's put it to the voters. If they don't want it, at least we gave it a try.
Okay, we'd love to talk more about that, but I want to make sure we get all of these topics in. So let's move on to gay marriage allowed in California. This following on the heels of Massachusetts agreeing to that.
Yes, the state of Massachusetts Supreme Court did make a decision that there was no constitutional defense to deny the state the ability to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. And that's really what we're talking about, the civil aspects, the basic human right to be able to take advantage of the fact of marriage. And so, yes, we have made progress incrementally over the past few years to allow gay and lesbian couples to be able to form domestic partnerships. This would actually end a second-class citizenship that presently exists for me and those in my community who are prevented the issuance of marriage licenses.
Do you think the resistance to this, though, is more of a fiscal or a moral one?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Do you think the resistance to gay marriage is more of a fiscal challenge for people or moral?
Well, actually, we know from polling that a majority of Californians do not believe that there should be discrimination against gay and lesbian couples. So I think
does it go as far as marriage?
Right. Well, so as we put this bill out there, there's now something to debate, something tangible. And I believe that as more and more people understand that we're talking about going to City Hall and having the opportunity to receive a marriage license. Can you imagine any other group of people being denied the issuance of a license at City Hall? It's really quite remarkable when you think about it. And the more we talk about it, the more people understand that we're just talking about a basic civil right that they will
Right.
come to accept it.
Okay, got to move on to our third and final topic. These
Sure.
are all bills that you are proposing to put before Sacramento. The third one being that you don't want to make it legal anymore for companies like PG&E who are in bankruptcy to pay out huge bonuses to top executives. In this case, PG&E paid out $83 million.
I have to tell you, our office has gotten so many calls of people who are viscerally reacting to this fact that PG&E, and they're not the only ones, there are other companies like Enron and WorldCom who, while they are in bankruptcy, are putting forth tens of millions of dollars in bonuses to their top executives. And keep in mind that these bonuses are considered businesses' expenses and are actually tax deductible, so that you and I and all taxpayers here in California are actually subsidizing these bonuses to the very executives that put them into bankruptcy to begin with.
So what kind of support do you think you have in Sacramento for this particular bill? Are you up against, you're going to be up against big business, I would assume.
I believe that there will probably be support for this. We're not saying that we can stop these bonuses, but we can take away the incentive that we're giving to them and no longer have them be considered allowed for tax exemption.
Okay, quickly, what's the most controversial of the three on your behalf?
I think these are all good public policy decisions.
Obviously.
I'll be moving forward. And again, with regard to the vehicle license fee, I've been talking to members in the business community, in the labor community, talking to the Progressive Board of Supervisors, talking to the mayor's office.
Okay.
If we can come together around this, we can plug this $100 million hole.
All right, Mark Leno live from
Thanks so much. It's a beautiful
Sacramento.
day here in Sacramento.
Yeah, it looks a little foggy in behind
Just a
Mark
little bit.
there. Yeah, okay, thanks.
Thank you.
7:38 is your time. Let's get to our weather now with Mark Gannon. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, there's a dense fog advisory up towards Sacramento this morning, as well as for the Delta as well. Live look from Transamerica. You see the low fog, the misty drizzle around there this morning. Temperatures in the 40s around the Bay Area, from 48 right now in Palo Alto to 45 in Walnut Creek, and 47 the current temperature in Petaluma. Other temperatures right now as you step out the door range from 51 in San Francisco to 43 in Livermore, 48 in Santa Rosa. There you see the fog here on our True View. Visibility right now range from 1/10 of a mile in Fairfield to 2/10 of a mile, or about a quarter mile up towards Santa Rosa and Livermore as well. So some dense fog in the Livermore Valley this morning, but 10-mile visibility in Hayward. You see here on the satellite view, pretty quiet right now. Here's what's coming the next day or two. Then some high clouds and a weak system comes in as we head towards the second half of the weekend. In the meantime, this afternoon, partly cloudy once that fog begins to lift. Pretty nice day later today with temperatures climbing to the upper 50s for highs. Pretty uniform readings around the Bay Area. Your 7-day forecast with dense fog around the next few mornings. Pretty nice afternoons through Saturday. Just a slight chance of a shower Saturday afternoon. And then it looks like some showers Sunday into Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, but no real heavy rain expected. Let's check your morning commute now with Mimi.
Thank you, Mark. Well, all you need is one accident to really cramp your style on the freeways in the morning. We had one southbound 101 at Miller Creek. Now it's slow for you. You can see here sensors showing slow traffic from Ignacio to Miller Creek, and that continues on at least past 580 in the San Rafael area. Meantime, over at the Golden Gate Bridge, all that backup in San Rafael has things moving smoothly at the Golden Gate Bridge. It sort of meters the traffic across the bridge. So there you are. That looks good into the city this morning. And over at the East Shore Freeway, things have changed there. It is very, very slow. As you can see here, right-hand side of your screen, that's the westbound direction. It is slow for you from cutting all the way to the Maze, and that's your backup over at the Bay Bridge. Also, an eastbound accident at University. It's a big one. Motorcycle down, blocking the left lane. So very slow in the eastbound direction in the Berkeley area as well. Let's leave it on a good note. Public transit is on time. Back to you, folks.
Thanks, Mimi.
Thanks a lot, Mimi. Well, tennis great John McEnroe was never shy about expressing his feelings.
Still isn't.
And yeah, now he's getting a new forum to do it, too. We'll have that story in entertainment news.
And later, 49er quarterback Jeff Garcia talks about his arrest.